I think we are live already. Okay, so let's start. Greeting everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Rizwan Ansari with me Satya Karki. We are thrilled to be here with all of you on CSharp TV. Today we are diving into a topic that is at the foremost at this point. This is at like a kind of new innovation or new era is there. So that's the what we are in the tech world of Copilot, and we will be diving dive into GitHub Copilot, Copilot Chat, and GitHub Codespace. Now, as a tech enthusiast and professionals, we are always looking for some kind of tools and technologies that can enhance our development workflows, boost productivity, or maybe even add a bit of magic to our coding. So that's precisely we will be exploring today. Now let me check if my screen is visible already. Just hold on. Yeah. So in this series, we will be doing deep dive into AI-assisted development. This era already dominated by AI. You will have say lots of buzzword. Chat GPT. I mean, almost everyone knows this. You don't need to be techie. Even now, someone who are in school life they also know what is chat gpt and they are using it. Not even like sometime even I came to know those who are not having proper education, they are also using chat gpt. So this is one of the most popular word last year and even going to this year, and it is going to be like this also with this open AI copilots. We are finding its presence in almost every facet of our lives, from our daily system to the tools we use, irrespective of any domain. We know the applications of AI in medical services, construction, marketing, sales, education. We can sense AI in each sex each sector. AI has become a silent force, taking over the manual or repetitive activities, transforming the way we work. It's seamlessly integrated into our routines, recommending optimal choices, expediting our activities. The breadth of AI has expanded, and it has touched virtually every product, every services. And importantly, the tech companies are on relentless journey exploring the vast potential of AI and trying to incorporate the capabilities into the solution to elevate the user experience. This brings us to the particular excitement prospect and the immense impact of AI on the software development. In fact, AI can be our co-pilot in every phase of development, starting from documentation, requirement gathering, software specification, building, testing, deploying, managing, or providing support. So GitHub Copilot AI assisted development can help with this all. In next 30 minutes, we will take a closer look on each of these topics, understand their features, explore the real use cases. We'll also guide you through how to get started, whether you are a seasoned developer or like just a fresher. It has an advantage for every level of software developers. Now, in today's session, we have exciting line of topics. First of all, we will delve into the background of AI copilots. We'll understand its essence in the current technological landscape. As we navigate through the age of copilot, we will take a uh, closer look at some potential copilot products we have, setting the stage for our deep dive into GitHub Copilot. Next on our agenda, we will comprehensively grasp the breathtaking tool, this GitHub Copilot. We'll evaluate its information. We will try to get it history. We will explore its features. We'll also explore the diverse range of application it has. Following that, we will also elucidate the pricing model. We will ensure that we have a clear understanding which Copilot's product model fits for different scenarios. But that's not all. We will also shine a spotlight on the Copilot Chat, understanding its role in the collaboration, coding collaboration or software collaboration. Will guide you how to get started with GitHub Copilot and Copilot Chat both, making sure you are ready to leverage this their potential into your software development lifecycle. Finally, we will shift our focus to the code space, GitHub Codespaces. GitHub Codespaces is also one of the tool, or we can say a platform, which we can use heavily to optimize our software development. So we will also take you to the journey where we can use GitHub Codespace for the modern development. So buckle up, we will embark this journey covering everything from inspection of GitHub Copilot to practicalities of Codespace. Uh, I'm Rizwan Ansari. I'll not discuss much about me. I'm a certified Microsoft trainer, Microsoft MVP, CSharpCorner MVP with 12 plus years of software development experience, expertise with software development, DevOps, solution architect, and so on. With that, I love to write blogs, articles, speaking in communities, trainer, and so on. You can follow up in GitHub, Twitter, wherever you want. Now, we all know the meaning of AI, Copilot. Now, let's go to the actual word of Copilot. We all know the meaning of Copilot. It will assist the pilot during the flights. So, which means like there will be a main pilot. Copilot will do some of the stuff of main pilot. It can assist the main pilot. Even it can do most of the tasks, but decision is mostly coming from main pilot. Now imagine having AI by our side to do everything what we do today. So Copilot is not just a tool. It can be your coding partner, or it can be your AI partner, ready to assist you in every task. Now, if we see the Copilot of all the product and services now it is releasing, it is not only for the coding. Every phase of our life we can use the Copilot, this AI Copilot. And with Copilot we can work smarter, be more productive, we can boost our creativity, stay seamlessly connected with the people, things in our life. It's intelligent companion that adapts to our need for our every activities. Now we are in the era of Copilot, which means we are listening Copilots to the almost every Microsoft products. And I'm sure we will be getting this Copilot not only to the Microsoft products, all the other tech company will bring this Copilot. Name can be different. Somebody can give a product name according to their software. Some can give a smart AI. Some can give the name of a smart assistant, or name can be different based on the organization. They have their own naming pattern. But more or less all will do what, they will assist you to do your job in better way. Now AI copilots is now everywhere in it can it but it started with GitHub Copilot. GitHub Copilot was the place where Copilot concepts comes with the software. Now, with that, we have a Copilot for Microsoft, Copilot for Power Apps. Power Apps is a low-code platform where we can develop the software writing, not writing the code, just low-code or no-code platform. There also Copilot is there with the instruction. It can build an application for you. It can add controls. It can remove. It can design the UI. Similarly, Copilot is now available for Power Automate or Cloud Flows. Copilot for 365, it has become another uh, things that people are now dependent on it. Copilot is already coming into now Windows machine. Copilot is available for Microsoft Fabric, which means like even Power BI is under Microsoft Fabric, so you can develop your analysis report, everything user Copilot. Copilot will be there for sales, Viva services. It is already now preview for the Azure. So we will see this all will come slowly. And also other platforms also, there are several copilots which are with different name. It will be there available for CRM, ERP, so on. Now let's take one example. uh, in the traditional way, or even now, even many organization now we do, when we organize any meeting, we have some agenda to discuss. So we already define the agenda, we have time duration for the meeting. So what we do, we go in the meeting and we discuss on our agenda, but there will be someone who will be taking the note of all the important point discussed during the meeting, what will be the next actionable item, and he will be responsible for preparing even the meeting minutes. Now with that, what will happen, it depends upon one of the person, and his job will be like, now he cannot focus on the meeting, he cannot give his input, he cannot contribute in the meeting, because he is now more focusing on the listening, taking the note. That's how his productivity is already gone. Now let's think like while discussing, he missed some important points to take the note, there will be some consequences. Likewise, now with the Microsoft 365 Copilot, I have seen like some of our even team members are using, even we will be using soon. So what it does, I don't need to care about the important points, agenda, or like I don't need to take the note of important discussion. It is taking all those things, and the accuracy is much higher, almost like we did few meetings, and the result we saw almost 100% accurate. And of course we cannot assume like 100% all the time, it depends upon how people talk, which language they are using, but most of the times it is giving the results. And another thing, are these copilots free? Most of these, especially when we discuss, most of the tech guys they know, but when it comes to the students or juniors, they mix max sometimes these copilots. When we talk about GitHub copilots, they understand this copilot is even same copilots with the Power Apps, or same copilot with the Office 365. It is not exactly like that. It is it is like each copilot has their own specific job. For example, the GitHub Copilot, which I'm using to write the code, I cannot use same Copilot for my Office 365 to generate my meeting minutes, or note the important point for my discussion. Similarly, Power Apps Copilot cannot be used for other platforms. So every platform, the Copilot has been trained specific for that product and that services. And none of these are free. I'm sure like none of the Copilot is going to free. Some are free because they are on preview, and I believe when they will be on the general availability or release, or for the generally, there will be some cost. All these are cost service. Now I would like to I would like to hand over to Satya Karki. She will give us introduction about GitHub Copilot. She will also share how what it does, what are the use cases, features, and so on. So Satya, floor is your. I'll be sharing my screen, you can just say me next slide, I will move it.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Rishwan. Thank you, everyone, for joining this live session. I'm Satya Karki. I'm Microsoft MVP, and I'm also the CSharpCorner MVP. With that, I have more than 12 years of professional experience in software development, especially using Microsoft technologies. And also, I'm a blockchain developer. So today I'm not feeling much well, so I will take a short part from this series and I'll hand over to the region. So let me start with what is GitHub Copilot. GitHub Copilot is a tool that uses artificial intelligence to assist the developers in suggesting and writing the code based on the context. So GitHub Copilot suggests you writing the code based on the pattern and the context of your program. It was first announced by GitHub on 29th June 2021, and it is powered by OpenAI Codex. GitHub Copilot uses OpenAI's Codex language model, which has been trained on a massive dataset of the public code repositories, and it is trained on all languages that appear in a public repositories. For each languages, the quality of the suggestions you receive may depend on the volume and the diversity of the training data for that language. So it depends upon how much the repository is, public repositories are available for this type of language. Based on that, it can be the suggestion. So for example, JavaScript is well represented in a public repositories, and it is one of the GitHub Copilot's best supported languages. Languages with a less representations in a public repositories may produce fewer or less robust suggestions in a GitHub Copilot. The accuracy of the code suggestion can vary based on the language popularity and the diversity of examples available during the Copilot's training. For languages with fewer publicly available repositories and uses, Copilot may not provide as a precise or the reliable suggestions compared to the more mainstream languages. So the accuracy cannot be the same for all the types of the languages. This can vary based on the popularity and the available public repositories of that language. It is the world's most widely adopted AI developer tools for the developers. Furthermore, the GitHub Copilot Chat is a part of the GitHub Copilot, using which you can chat and get a prompt response for your query. GitHub Copilot Voice is another part of the GitHub Copilot, which is very useful for those who have a difficulty to type and get the suggestion from the Copilot for their program. So they can just ask and they can just they can speak and they can use their voice to ask the questions and get the quick response. Next, Ridwan. Next slide.
Okay.
So now let's come what GitHub Copilot can do. GitHub Copilot suggests the code completions as a developer's type and turns a natural language prompt into the coding suggestions based on the project's context and the style conventions. Whatever the definitions of your object, the variable, and the context based on the context of your the method and or the class, it gives the code suggestions. It understands your context, what you are going to do in your program. So based on that context, it gives the suggestion. It optimizes the code performance. You can use the GitHub Copilot to optimize the code performance. You can ask how you can optimize this method or this class to get a better performance. That types of the suggestions also you can get and you can optimize your program. Additionally, you can use GitHub Copilot for finding the bugs and also fixing the bugs. How you can fix this bugs, those kind of things you can ask and you can get the help from the GitHub Copilot and fix it quickly. Besides this, we can use the GitHub Copilot to generate the code documentation. For documentation purpose also, we can use the GitHub Copilot and it suggests based on your the code, your functions, class, or the entire program. We can give the suggestions for the improvements, modifications, and the optimization of our program. Additionally, we can ask when we are stuck somewhere in the bug or designing the new features, how to do. And if we don't know, if we stuck somewhere, then we can ask with the Copilot and get the suggestions and move on this. Additionally, we can use GitHub Copilot to generate the unit tests, to optimize our SQL queries, and so on. Copilot Enterprise is another part of the GitHub Copilot. This is not released yet, but we can expect it from the February 2024. Many big software firm or the enterprise company has their own coding standard, pattern, platforms, libraries, and templates and the designs for their own software development. They have their own guide and the documentations. They follow their own coding pattern and standard for their product or the application development. So for that purpose, if we use the GitHub Copilots that is trained from the public repositories, that won't help the enterprise companies. So the GitHub Copilot Enterprise is trained based on your private repositories. So for enterprise companies, we have to use our own private repositories and get the suggestions based on our standard and the practices. So GitHub Copilot Enterprise personalize the answers that are grounded in your organization's documentations with the inline citations and your own pattern. It keeps track of your work, suggestions, descriptions, and helps reviewers about your changes. So this is mainly designed for the enterprise use, and it is not released yet. Now let's come to the pricing. GitHub Copilot for the individual, we can use for the individual use, we can use for the business, and we can use for the enterprise uh, organizations. So for individual use, it costs $10 per month per user, and for the Copilot for the business, it costs $19 per user per month. For Copilot Enterprise, it's upcoming, and it will cost $39 per user per month. Next, for students, for verified students, teachers, and the maintainers of the popular open source project, GitHub Copilot is free. So if you are a student or teacher and if you work or the maintain for the popular open source projects, then the GitHub Copilot is free to use. GitHub Copilot Chat is a part of the GitHub Copilot. It is a chat interface that lets you interact with the GitHub Copilot to ask and receive the answers to coding related questions within the github.com, and you can use it within the supported IDEs. You can use a natural language, and based on your natural language, it gives you the answers to your core context. So based on your core context and your program, it gives you the suggestions and the answers. It uses combinations of natural language processing and machine learning to understand your questions and provide you with the answer. You can ask a wide range of the questions, such as for the syntax, for programming concept, describe the context, fixing, bug fixing, test cases, unit test, refactoring, and optimization of your program, validations, and many more other purposes. Meaning, if we don't need to navigate to the, if we use the GitHub Copilot chat inside the IDE or the github.com, then we don't need to move to the internet, and we don't need to search into the other sites, the forums. So we can get everything inside our own development IDE. So you don't need to waste the time to search for your program for to debug and get the new idea. For the code documentations also, you don't need to spend much more time. So you will get everything inside your development IDE. And the GitHub uh, chat, Copilot chat comes with the GitHub Copilot by default. So the next, I would like to hand over to you, Rizwan. Could you please proceed with this?
Thank you, Satya, again giving back. So most of the things here we have what I have listed here as a feature and capabilities. It is already discussed somehow in the previous slide. So it will give you intelligent code completion and suggestion, and the important part here is a contextual, which means like when we are doing and searching for any code in the Google or any internet, what we found like it will give they give some website. We need to go to that website, we will find some sample code, but that sample code is based on the someone who has wrote in their context, which means like the variable name, their data connection or context name or class name will be according to their sample. But When we are using same thing in GitHub Copilot, it will also suggest the code based on the public repositories somehow, but uh, the context will be according to our program, which means like it will take the reference of our classes, our variables, our context. So we don't need to rewrite and change those things again. That's one advantage we will, that's why we call it the contextual understanding. Language support, already Satya explained very clearly. It is supporting almost all the language which is available in public repository, and the accuracy will be higher, which has more contribution in the github.com. Some similarly, it has an extension for all the popular IDE. It is well integrated in those IDE, generate unit test case, code expansion and suggestion improvement, propose code fixing, answers questions, code documentation, chat based, accessible for every developers. It is not only for the experience or junior, customized based on your own document process. So which the Satya said for enterprise. So Copilot Enterprise will be based on your own repository, which means like many organizations, they have their own coding standard, their own libraries, they use on their framework, they have their own boilerplate application. So when they want to write another project or they want to develop another product, they don't want to use the code from the public. Mostly they want to use their own libraries, so that the suggestion will be made on their own, that, and they it will be based on their own documentation and so on. So let's do the get started. I'll go a bit quickly because I saw it's already 26 minutes. So in order to get started, at least you need to have a GitHub account. This GitHub Copilot is coming with the GitHub account. So you need to have an account in GitHub, and you need to have a subscription. The one earlier Satya said, you have a three pricing model. It can be based on the business for the organization, it can be for individual if you want to use personally, and it will be available for enterprise as well. And what you need to do, you need to add that extension. You can integrate this GitHub Copilot any of your code editor or ID, just log in and you are ready to do it. I'll just show a quick demo. I already opened so that I don't need to spend much time on this. Now, this is my Visual Studio, one of the development. We can even use Visual Studio Code, that's fine. So if any of this, if you use, let's go here. I'll just minimize first here. So we need to go to the extension, manage extension, and just search here Copilot. So we have GitHub Copilot, Copilot Chat is here. We can just install it. Once we install, we need to restart the Visual Studio. And after restart, it will ask for your credential, which means you need to log in with your GitHub username and password. Once you are logged in and you have a subscribe, you are ready to use it. So how it works, just I'll show a small quick sample. I'll close it because I have already installed it. For example, I have a controller here. Let me just go to the here event itself. Now this is one example is here. So if I put here and I can write create a uh, additional property and I enter it, so it will suggest me. So this is a simple one I did. Now if you want to show some complex one, let me check if I have a sample here. Okay, there is one. Now here is a one get forecast. Now if I want to add weather forecast, create uh, a new method for single forecast. So just if I click, it will suggest the entire code. Now I can choose the same code, or if I choose alt, it will give me the another option. Likewise, we can just go and choose our code. Similarly, if you go to Visual Studio Code, here also we need to go into extension, search for Copilot. All the copilots are here. Even GitHub Copilot voice is also here. So we can choose and install. After install, we just need to provide on again the authentication, and same way you can just write the comment, it will give the things. For chat, you can simply go and select this, click, and ask the question on top of this. So in the next series, anyway, we are going to go deep down on this one. We will write an entire application, like one, we will take a use cases and we will complete that use cases with GitHub Copilot and Copilot Chat. So I'll go back to my slide. I'll just want to highlight some of the things. So we need to have a continuous improvement. The copilot, all the copilots are emerging. So we need to provide our proper feedback. We want to make a better version of this. Continuous feedback is very important, because whatever we have right now in the AI is all because of number of feedback. So whenever we are using, if the response is not good or not accurate, we can provide that feedback. We should apply for every kind of programming language, every type of activities, for documentation, for rectification, for refactor, so that it will be getting trained, and use different programming language. And while providing the context or writing the comment, it should be very clear so that you will get the better result. Keep your prompt on the topic. If this is a GitHub Copilot related with the development, so we should ask the question related with the development. If I ask something about email or message, it will not give me the correct answers. And it is a tool, it's not a replacement for the developers. It helps developer to do the job faster. The code secure and review is very important. Whenever the code suggestion is coming, it is coming based on some of the available repository. So what we need to do, we need to check the security of code. It is important to implement the code review process, stay up to date, update this product time to time, validate and optimize your code. It's very important sometime to validate those. And sometime it can give some on inaccurate also. As a person also, we sometime do inaccurate, we do some mistakes. So likewise this uh, chat GitHub Copilot is. Here are some consideration that we need to consider, like AI Copilot, you are the main pilot, which means whatever the suggestion it is giving, it is the developer decision to implement that function. We cannot just blindly suggest, accept the answers and continue. There are potential biasness, like Copilot training data is drawn from the existing repository, which may contains some biasness or errors, or can be there can be some security biasness. So we must be sure like what we are using. It is very important to follow that software development life cycle. And security risks, so it matches the code with the public, it can give you some responses. So make sure that you are having proper control on your sensitive data. And inaccurate code, obviously we need to be that. So response, always it you will have an inaccurate response for if you are going out of topic, non coding related. And coding standard, so sometime whenever you are getting the suggestion, it may not be according to your coding standard, for which GitHub Copilot Enterprise is there. We are over the time, just I will give another brief information about Codespace. So let's consider the traditional challenges that we have when we do the development. Our machine becomes our main thing to carry whenever we are in travel or everywhere. Our machine is very important for developers, especially the developers who are working daily, because they have set their computer according to their development. They have their own IDE, their libraries and packages are installed there. And whenever they are moving from one place to another, definitely they will carry their laptop, because they know something error happen in some of their product or services, or they need to do some changes, they need their machine. So which is one challenge is, even we are traveling, we need to have our laptop and we depend upon our machine. So many cases, if your machine got crashed, your development will stop instantly until your new machine get ready. And even if you are getting your new machine, it will take some time to install the IDE packages, a database, client, so on. And for the developers there are many tools. And even if you see like product, if you are working on the multiple projects, based on the different projects you have a different environment setup. So sometimes it will conflict to each other. This is also one challenge. Another thing, when new hire comes into any organization, onboarding takes times, because it takes time to prepare machine for them to bring with our packages. And based on different project, you need a different kind of setup. So over the time your device will become slow because you are putting a lot of things within the same machine. Now, we have one option that this day already, infrastructure has been implemented as a code. ISE infrastructure is a code where you can define your OS in the VM, list of packages, and you can build your own virtual machine. That's exactly what GitHub Codespace will do for you. So, I already discussed these challenges, so I'll not repeat again. Mostly like highly depend upon the team, onboarding, multiple environment, project-wise dependency, compatibility version issues, collaboration, recovery time is much higher if your machine get crashed, and portability, accessibility, productivity goes down. Now, GitHub Codespace is just exactly what it will. It is a cloud-based development environment given by GitHub. It allows developer to write, develop, build, test, debug everything in the cloud itself, directly from the browser, from any machine. And whatever the packages you need for that development, it will be already available for that environment. So you don't need to depend upon your machine. You just carry any crappy laptop, go to the browser, log in your GitHub, open. You can have a multiple environment based on different project, based on different requirement. So whichever the project you are going to work, you can launch your GitHub code space, your package, your work, wherever you were, it will be as it is, and you can just start development right away. So fully configurable and customizable, which means like you can define your packages, your environment, the way you need your development environment. And it's important because if you have 100 developers, different developers might have a different dependency in their machine, but with the GitHub Copilot you can maintain that standard. All should have a same environment. There should not be conflict with the versions likewise. And it has a capabilities from low to high configuration machine itself in the browser, so that you don't need to worry, okay, if it is going to be slow and so on. So in the third session of this series, we will go deep down into code spaces, how to configure environment, how to create your different environment, how to recover it quickly, and so on. So that's all for today. uh, this is how we discuss in this session. So let me go back to the browser. Yeah. So this entire session we discuss about GitHub Copilot, um, Copilot Chat, GitHub Codespace. With that, we got some background about different copilots available in the market, and all copilots have their own task based on the product and services. It is not. It's quite common. People are getting mixed up. Like these copilots might work for another purpose. It's not like that. Every copilot has its own role, and it has its own training data. So if you ask one copilot question about another, it cannot give you the correct uh, values. And with that also we saw how we can get started with this, and at last we saw about the GitHub code spaces. Stay tuned for other upcoming session for this series, where we will do deep down about GitHub Copilot as well as Codespace and GitHub Chat. So that's how. Simon, are you there?
Yeah, Rishi, we are going to wrap up today's episode. Thank you everyone joining us. Thank you Simon and Sister TV for providing platform to share our knowledge. In next episode, we will come with more demonstrations and illustrations on the practical how we can implement the GitHub Copilot in our development process. So that's all for today's episode. Thank you, Rizwan.
Thank you, Satya. Thank you, CSharpCorner team. Even if still, I think we are on live. No, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.